Coffee and Convo, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. We are back. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Game day. Make sure you guys wipe them feet over here. That means get those likes up, and also hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. Salute to everybody watching on Twitter. I appreciate you guys. If you want to get involved in the chat, jump on over to YouTube, OLV Raiders Network. Just type in Graphk Raider. You'll find the channel. Come hit that subscribe button. We are less than 1,000 subscribers away from 30,000 subscribers. That is a major, major goal of mine. So if you guys can, it is free. Make sure to hug, because I see Hug in the building, that subscribe button, and make sure, man, to pull on up, man, and join Green Dot Gang as well. I see Green Dot Gang is heavy. Alex, Hug, John Bailey. I mean, come on, man. Everybody's here. Rob, all my people, Rose, 913, Blazing Raider, Punchy, King Wrecker. If you guys want to become Green Dot, hit the link. It's pinned up top. A lot to talk about today, you guys. Raiders, Chargers. Me and Hammer will be live here in a few hours to do the play-by-play out at SoFi Stadium, where the Raiders have historically been terrible. Up to this point, 1 win, 6 losses. We are 0-6 in games played with fans in attendance. This makes it the worst record at any stadium since the 2020 merger. So since COVID, the Raiders have not won at SoFi Stadium. We are 1-6 all time there. And honestly, you guys, you know, I love my team. You know, I love our team. I don't see anything changing today. I still have the Chargers going out there and absolutely beating the dog shit out of our Raiders, man. There's too much going on behind the scenes. This roster is very talent deficient. Doesn't matter if you move on from Tom McMahon. It doesn't matter if you move on from Chip Kelly, who honestly wasn't the major problem of this football team at all. I mean, he was a problem, but he wasn't the biggest problem. And we'll get there in a second as well. But yeah, man, too much drama, too much just bad energy revolving around this football team. I just honestly do not see the Raiders going out there to SoFi Stadium and winning this ball game, regardless. Again, if Chip moved on and, you know, we got Greg Olsen, Ollie's out there calling the O. They did say that not too much will change offensively, philosophy-wise, systematically-wise. You know, it's too late in the ballgame. Ollie said it himself, right? It's too late in the season to just switch up the entire offense. But again, expect Genty to get a lot more burn. Expect Brock Bowers to be more heavily involved in the offense moving forward. If you go look at the track record of what Olsen has done, taking over as the offensive coordinator for the Raiders in the past, you know, the Jared Cooks of the world, the Darren Wallers of the world, he is going to feed his tight end. So now I don't know what this means in terms of the offensive line, you guys. Honestly, I don't know what it's going to look like with Brendan Carroll still running the show on the offensive line. I'm expecting the same shit. I know that they brought up Antonio Mafi off the practice squad. We also brought up Greedy Vance off the practice squad. So it looks like this may be a Darnay Holmes inactive week, and rightfully so. You know, last week was pretty tough to watch. Darnay has been really bad for this football team. So it's good to see at least the young kid, the UDFA out of USC, getting some burn. But again, I don't know what Antonio Mafia is going to do, for this offensive line. Hoping and praying that Caleb Rogers is active, hoping that Charles Grant continues to be active. But again, I'm hoping that these guys actually get some burn today with how talent deficient we are on that O-line right now. We're dealing with some injuries, and I'm hoping and praying that they shift some things around on the O-line. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, Hug, who would have thought, right? Who would have thought that coaching matters? And again, Hug, the funny thing is we're seeing all this shit being thrown at walls, so to speak, between Pete Carroll's, him and his team, and Chip Kelly and his team, right? Because, again, Chip Kelly has to find another job here, you guys. Pete Carroll doesn't. He can walk off into the sunset at 74 years old after this season and not have to worry about a damn thing. He can retire and he can still, rest assured, he can still say, hey, I won a national title at USC. I won a championship, Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks. I'm cool, and again, Chip Kelly, won a national championship with Ohio State. But again, he's still a lot younger, and he's still going to be looking for other jobs. And don't think for once, you guys, that those college teams are not going to come calling for Chip Kelly. The guy is a phenomenal play caller. There was a lot of shit that went into this situation. I don't know if he's just a collegiate play caller at this point. I don't know. But to see these guys kind of going back and forth, in the media right now, one using their team, the other using their team to kind of combat what each other is saying. I know that Pete came out and said that Chip wasn't out there, calling plays that didn't make any sense and plays that didn't exist. I don't know if you guys got an opportunity to see what he said, but there was a leak from Tom Pelissero over at, I think, the Rich Eisen show. He was over there and he was speaking about Chip Kelly. This is what he had to say. There were times I were told where Chip Kelly was repeatedly botching the play calls. For instance, tagging a motion on a play so the receivers are on the left, not the right. While they're trying to run the play. It even happened on a third down in the game the other day. Pete Carroll went on to say, which is cool, kind of came out and kind of said, what, that did not happen. He said there's no truth to the comments about Chip and any play calling issues. That's cool. But there's more to this that's starting to come out and starting to leak a little bit more, which we've been saying over here, you guys, for a long time, that like Chip Kelly did not get a chance to run his offense completely. He didn't. I mean, when week 2 happened and Geno went out there, threw a ton of picks at the Chargers, we ended up losing that ball game. Something happened with this offense where they switched gears and they started to protect Geno a lot more. It slowly but surely started happening, and boom, next thing you know, the deep ball is non-existent, which was Geno's superpower when he came into Las Vegas. What was 2 things that we heard, you guys? It was pinpoint accuracy from Geno Smith. We have not seen that up to this point. And the deep ball, which, could you imagine the Raiders use a 4th-round pick? They go get Dante Thornton, a guy that can stretch the field. You have Trey Tucker, all that speed on the outside, and you don't utilize it. And then you have then you throw your rookie wide receiver Dante Thornton under the bus, Geno Smith, at a media scrum saying a whole bunch of gibberish about the rookie, right? All I'm saying is this. Chip was clear-cut the scapegoat in this situation. Rumors are starting to come out now that Chip was not afforded the luxury to run his own offense, that Pete Carroll had his fingerprints all over the O. Now, I don't know if that means play calling, because, again, Pete Carroll would want to run the football probably every damn play after drafting Ashton Jeanty at 6. Again, I don't think that Chip Kelly preferably wanted to have Ashton Jeanty there at 6. Honestly, I don't believe that was the move that your offensive coordinator would want, but he's just the OC, right? You have to work with what is given to you. But again, Pete Carroll's fingerprints are all over this offense. It makes total sense because, again, your son runs the O-line and your other son is the quarterback. You're different. Look, Geno was his son. Okay. Geno was his son. it is what it is. He's his adopted son. All right. One son runs the O-line. The other son is the quarterback. So why would we think for once that Chip Kelly is out there running his O? It makes no sense. Pete Carroll has done this before, where his DNA is literally, you can watch the offense and see what they're trying to do out there. Chip didn't get an opportunity to do what he wanted to do on the offensive side of the ball. Play call. It is what it is. When you have a guy that was hand-picked to come over from Seattle for a third-round pick to be the head coach's quarterback, and I don't care what Chip says, you guys. I don't care if Chip says, I loved, the opportunity to coach Geno Smith. I think he was being very, very petty on the way out. I'm not saying that he doesn't have respect or doesn't like Geno Smith, but for him to say on the way out, and it was really a blessing to coach Geno Smith and so on and so forth. Look, I could be totally wrong, and this is just alleged, but he was being very, very petty on the way out. Very petty on the way out. I don't know why you would say that after your quarterback is leading the league, in picks. He's probably took more sacks than any quarterback in the NFL this year. I didn't look that stat up, but I'm just thinking out loud here, you guys. We have the worst O-line in football. So Geno was hit the ground a lot, right? But I think that Chip was a little petty Hardaway on the way out. Now, I'm not saying that Chip doesn't respect Geno. I know that they said that years ago, he was out there recruiting Geno and so on and so forth. I know that he coached his cousin out there at Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith, right? Like there's a lot of moving parts here. But yes, Spivey, I do believe that he was being full sarcastic with that statement. Crystal clear. And again, Chip was not wrong saying that this is a production-based league. You have to win ball games. You have to get the O rolling, and it didn't work. But again, I don't think that Chip was afforded the luxury of being able to call this offense the way he wanted to. And again, I could be wrong. This is just alleged, but I do believe that Pete Carroll had his fingerprints all over this offense. And again, when you're running an offense with Brennan Carroll controlling the nucleus of that offense, which is the offensive line, you're kind of just like holding on for dear life at that point. He's one of the worst coaches in football. I know some of these beat writers and some of these guys are out there trying to save Brennan Carroll. He's a great coach. He's this, he's that. No, he's not. He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. I mean, it doesn't take a football genius, you guys. It doesn't take a guy that sits here and breaks down tape all day long to just look at that O-line and see what the hell is going on. This is totally wrong. It's totally off. There's no way that Parham regresses that bad. There's no way that this O-line just regressed as a whole unit that much. It makes no sense. This is Brennan Carroll, crystal clear. It is what it is. And this is Pete, again, not holding his son accountable. So it just is what it is. And Oscar, I seen that. Richie Incognito definitely called it out. This is facts, bro. But once again, you don't have to be a football guy to see what's going on. If I'm sitting here on this couch watching this game today and Geno's under the rest all day long, my wife is going to say, why are those? And she don't even know what the offensive line is. She's going to say, why are they not blocking for him? Why are they not blocking for him? Now, us football fans, we're going to use our football minds here and say something is wrong. Something is wrong. And it starts with coaching. And Brennan Carroll is not doing his job. There's plenty of players, you guys, behind the scenes that are very disgruntled right now. Jordan Meredith, a guy that is not happy, how this season has gone and how bad that O-line has played. Again, we can bring him back, in the offseason. But again, if we don't, this year has hurt his stock moving forward. Dylan Parham is a free agent here, you guys. This is the last year on his rookie deal. You don't think that Parham is feeling, the wrath of everything that's out there, the narrative of this O-line is historically bad and so on and so forth, is going to affect his payday in free agency. So, nobody is happy with how this situation is going. And firing Chip Kelly does not really do anything in regards of changing anything. If you're going to fire Chip, you have to let Brendan Carroll go, bring Joe Philbin up, have him, run with that O-line the rest of the year. And, I'm cool with Ollie taking over because, again, this is what Ollie does, right? Every time a coach is fired or resigns, i.e. John Gruden, this is what he does. He comes in and historically just takes over the offense. So it is what it is. Salute to Carlos. Raiders for life. Beat the renting Chargers. Chargers have never won. Raider Nation for life. Appreciate you, Graphk. Fuego, I appreciate you, my brother, but I have to say this. The Chargers are going to absolutely kick our ass. Would it be great to go into SoFi Stadium and beat a divisional rival, a team that's fighting for a playoff spot right now? Hell yes. But again, Jesse Minter has that defense playing really well. The offense is kind of middle of the pack right now because of that beat up O-line, Slater out for the season, Joe Alt gone, right? That O-line is beat up and battered. But again, they're still fighting for their playoff lives. The Raiders are not fighting for anything outside of a draft pick. And, when you look at the defense, right, we're one of the worst offenses in football. I think there's only 2 offenses that are ranked worse than ours. And we'll go to that here in a second. But defensively, in totality, you guys, the Chargers are a top 5 defense. They're only giving up 286.1 yards a game. They've given up 26 touchdowns all season long. Okay. Passing defense, they're number 4. Okay. They're only giving up 172.3 a game. They've given up 10 touchdowns in the passing game. So again, do you think that Geno with Chip Kelly out of the way is going to go out there and just take the league by storm? I think not. Again, this is one of the better cover defenses in football. They are ranked 4th in passing defense. Rushing defense, again, they fall a little bit longer, down the totem pole, so to speak. We're actually a better rushing defense than the Chargers. We're 13. We give up 103.4 on the ground. Weekly, we've given up 14 touchdowns on the ground. The Chargers are at 16, giving up 113.8. They've also given up 14 touchdowns on the ground. So if you want to find a way to somehow, some way exploit this defense, you have to run the football effectively. And that starts with Ashton Genty, but it also starts up front with this really, really, really bad O-line. So this may be the week that the Chargers stop the bleeding, so to speak, and kind of raise their stock in terms of stopping the run, because again, our O-line is really, really bad. Scoring defense, the Chargers are 10th, 21.6 points allowed average, 26 total touchdowns allowed. So, and then again, red zone defense, they're 6th, 52.8%. This is one of the better defenses in football, guys. Third down defense, they're ranked 5th, 35.4% third down rate. This is not going to be an easy assignment to go out there and beat this Chargers defense. It just really isn't. And then you look at the offensive side of the football, right? Herbert has thrown a ton of picks this year because, again, their O-line is beat up. They've had a really, 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 really bad situation at the running back position where Najee Harris is out for the season. Amarion Hampton was placed on the IR. He will not play again today. He'll probably be ready to go next week. But again, total offense, the Chargers are still ranked 12th in NFL with even all of the deficiencies that they've had to deal with, the running game and the offensive line. They're still there 12th, 347.3 yards offensively a game. And they've had 24 touchdowns offensively as a whole. Passing offense, they're still kind of hovering around top 10. They're 11th, even with the O-line being bad and even with the ground game kind of struggling. 231.5 in the air a game, 19 touchdowns in the passing game for Justin Herbert and company. Rushing offense, once again, they've struggled a little bit more there because of their O-line. And again, without the rushing attack, it kind of makes them one-dimensional. They're 17th on the ground, which is really great, losing Najee Harris and Amarion Hampton. 115.7 a game. You got 5 touchdowns on the ground. So, and then scoring offense, again, this is still a team, that can go out there and put up a ton of points, but they are kind of more at the bottom of the barrel at 20. They're putting up 22.4 points per game, 24 total touchdowns offensively. So there you have it, you guys. But again, I don't see this team going out there and beating this football team. Simple and plain. Salute to Fuego. Let me catch up on these supers, man. Salute to Elijah Wilson. Oh, man, another depressing Sunday. At least my Buckeyes finally beat Michigan. Would not be mad if we got Reese or Downs. Me neither. Even Tate. Straight dogs if we miss out on a quarterback. You know, Elijah, I don't see any way in the world that we miss out on a quarterback. I just don't see any more wins schedule-wise moving forward. I don't see anything changing in terms of behind the scenes, all the negative energy of Pete saying this or so-called saying this and Chips people saying that. And then, you know, all the stuff, you know, surrounding Tom Brady and John Spytek right now. There's just so much uproar behind the scenes with this organization. I just don't see anything changing. I think there is a way that we could win a few games moving forward, Elijah, which is you change up the O-line, get some new energy. Once again, put Caleb Rogers out there. Maybe put Charles Grant out there at left tackle. Why not? You know, you just drafted him in the third round. Put him at left tackle and see what you got there. You know, see what you got there. I'd even like to see Dalton Wagner called up and see him get some burn because, again, you know, just put some big bodies out there. And this is the thing at this point. I just want Genty to get 1,000 yards rushing, Elijah. That's it. I want Genty to get 1,000 yards rushing. He has 605 right now, I believe. I think he has 222 in the passing game. So he's damn near 1,000 yards, all-purpose yards this season. I just want him these next 5 or 6 games or how many games is left to get over that hump of 1,000 yards because that says a lot about this kid's character to be able to fight through all this bullshit in his rookie season with one of the worst O-lines ever that the Raiders have assembled to still get over 1,000 yards rushing. So in a perfect world, all I'm looking for, and I think Brock is still somewhere a little bit over 500 yards in the passing game. I would love to see him get over 1,000 even after missing those games and dealing with that knee injury. That's all I'm looking at moving forward. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And hopefully Max can find a way to get over, you know, somewhere in that 10 to 12 range in terms of sacks. But that's really all I'm looking for outside of just playing the youth. Porter getting a ton of burn, Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant, Jack Besh getting #1 reps out there, just seeing the youth move. I want to see Genty find a way to go out there and potentially get over 1,000 yards. And it starts today. Once again, the Chargers aren't the best football team against the run. Hopefully Genty can go out there and get it rolling. Salute to Hug. If you're going to SoFi today, please greet Gino appropriately. Salute to Hug, the GOAT himself. My dog. Appreciate you, brother. This is facts. Don't go out like Hug. Salute to JT. Right after we beat the Patriots, I got lost in the woods and survived by eating dirt and moss. Just came out today. Are we still good? Go Chip. JT, the resident Shieldmore comedian. We are not good. 2-9 and on our way to a 2-15 season right now, JT. Welcome back to football. Hell, my brother. Salute to Spivey. In order to play Wednesday, empty, depressed, dead inside. Jenna Ortega joined Raider Nation for a year. Laugh out loud. Salute to my guy Spivey. I don't even know. What's that mean? In order to play Wednesday, empty, depressed, dead inside. Well, what does that mean? I don't even know who Jenna Ortega is. Maybe I'm tweaking right now. Can you update me, Spivey, on what you're talking about? Yeah, go back into the woods. Yeah, just go back into the woods. Yeah, JT Woods. Salute to CPT, my dog, man. But yeah, I mean, honestly, you guys, I have the Raiders losing this game, and I don't think that it's not even gonna be close. Usually divisional games are kind of back and forth. And again, the Raiders could probably keep it close for a little bit. But once again, you know, we're 1-6 at SoFi Stadium. We have not won a game since fans have been allowed in the building. This is just a tough assignment for our Raiders. The Chargers are fighting. Jim Harbaugh is hearing a lot, you know, in the media right now about his team not performing well. I've seen the 6 Charger fans that are left out there, you know, arguing and bickering on Twitter about, you know, moving on from Harbaugh because we're watching Ben Johnson work magic in year 1. They're 9-3. We're watching Vrabel in year 1 with the Patriots work magic. I think they're 10-2 or some shit like that, right? I mean, we're watching Jacksonville in year 1 with their new head coach, Liam Cohen, in the playoffs right now. So again, you know, they're fighting for something. Honestly, we're kind of fighting for respectability, and I don't think that we're going to get that today. It just is what it is. Now, again, do I want my football team to go out there and beat the Chargers? Definitely. This is a divisional rivalry. I would love to just kind of deflate the air out of that, whatever fan base they have. It'd be fun to watch. But again, I don't think we have what it takes in order to do that. And I don't think that a Tom McMahon and Chip Kelly-less Raiders football team makes this team that much better. Again, what happened to special teams last week? Blunders again, right? And again, I don't know what this offense is going to look like with Ali, running the show. Again, they've only given him a week or so to really get this thing rolling. It's going to be the same playbook. It's just going to be different calls at different times, you guys. I don't know, again, I just hope that they just run the football, and open up the passing game, for Brock Bowers, and hopefully Besh and Dante and those guys can get some love before the season is up. Salute to Oscar. Happy for Sanders' kid. Looks good right now. Oh, is he playing right now? Is he playing right now? Let me see. I'm going to check these scores. And we got a lot of show, you guys. So stay tuned. We're not going anywhere. We got at least another 30 minutes. And again, you guys, make sure you guys wipe them feet. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. I'm looking right now. Niners are up 7-0. And Sanders, 5 for 7 right now, 44 yards in the air. Not doing bad, but it's still early. First quarter, only 4:45 left. So I'm watching some of these games very closely today, you guys. It'd be great to see Tennessee find a way to beat Jacksonville. Would love to watch New Orleans potentially beat Miami, but they're already losing 7-0. Who else? There's some other games we should be watching today in terms of the loss column because of the draft. The Jets as well, them in Atlanta. Would love to see the Jets beat Atlanta out there in New York. That would be great. That would be great. Salute to my brother Wasted in the building. Always good to see my dog. But yeah, man, give me some final predictions here in the comment section, you guys. As Wasted says, Bo Nix. Give me some final predictions for today's showdown against the Chargers at SoFi Stadium. Score-wise. Salute to Rube. This would have been the week for youth movement. Could have almost made it look like Chip had input, still the head coach, though. But if he does it with Olsen at OC, then the old man is senile and hard-headed. Facts. Facts, Rube. Facts. Could you imagine Pete and company changing everything offensively after moving on from Chip Kelly? Just changing everything, going out there and just changing shit up. It would just be a kick in the dick, so to speak, Rube. Salute to my guy, man. Appreciate you on the $10 special. Genty over 80 yards on the ground or all purpose. Wasted. I would love to see him get to 100. This is not a great football team against the run. Again, I'm not acting as though they don't have a top 5 defense, because they do. But, this is a team that is kind of middle of the pack against the run. Wasted. They're 16th in the league. They're giving up 113.8 a game. And again, this O-line is really, really bad. So it starts with us up front. But I can see Genty kind of hitting a home run today, so to speak, and going out there and having a big game. Gotham says Jacoby Myers with a touchdown. Love to see it, man. Jacoby is definitely one of them ones. It's good to see him out there performing well with Jacksonville. That's dope. All right, boom. Let me get this out the way. And let's go to our weekly expert predictions here. We always do this every week, you guys. There's like some comedy relief on the show. Here we go. Game preview picks. Chargers everywhere, and rightfully so. And at this point, MJD is pretty much just, Maurice Jones-Drew is pretty much just trolling at this point. And I get it. He's a Raider at heart. But again, I'm looking at all these experts and I'm thinking, why do they think that this offense has what it takes to put up 20-plus points? I don't get it. But MJD has it 21-20. What makes you think, after watching this offense these last few weeks, that we can put up 20 points, that we can put up 21, 22, 23? I don't see it. But again, 27-20 Chargers. Wolf, 24-12. Chargers, that looks a little bit more realistic there. I can see 12 or 14. Adam Rank, 24-14. Chargers. Grant, 24-21. Chargers. Bucky Brooks, 24-22. Chargers. MJD, the lone Raider out there, 21-20 Raiders. Gordon, 28-21 Chargers. Shook, 24-23 Chargers. Ed Home, 25-22 Chargers. And then Patra, 27-20 Chargers. There you have it with your expert predictions for today's game. Salute to JT. Browns, we got 10 sacks. Chargers, hold my beer. Yeah, I don't know. The Chargers don't have the Browns defense. The Browns have a top 2 defense in the league. You know, you got a Myles Garrett that's had like fucking 14, 15 sacks in like the last 3 or 4 games. So this is a little different here. You know, it's not the same thing. You got a Khalil Mack at the end of his career. He always shows up against the Raiders. I have a feeling this is the last year you'll see Khalil Mack in the NFL. He signed a 1-year deal. I think it was fully guaranteed. Kind of looks like he's on his way out. But again, this isn't the same Khalil Mack that we faced in recent times, but he probably will show up today. But I don't have him with 4 or 5 sacks. But I wouldn't be shocked because, again, this is a really bad football team. Oscar, excuse my ignorance. Who is in charge of choosing starting O-line, position coach, or the OC? I mean, that's the O-line. That's the O-line. That's the O-line. That's the O-line coach. That's his job, to go out there and put the best guys out there available. That is Brendan Carroll's job. I've never seen, and maybe I'm wrong here, you guys, but I've never heard the offensive coordinator in control of going out there and putting, you know, the 5 guys out there in front. Now, maybe they have some say, but again, Brendan Carroll was paid to go out there and put the best 5 starters out there on the offensive line. Had nothing to do with Chip Kelly at all. So Chip's job is to go out there and schematically get these guys going offensively, which didn't happen. It didn't work. We couldn't score. Again, Chip had to go, you guys. But I still believe that he was the scapegoat with all this shit that's going on right now. But again, you know, Chip runs the offense. The O-line is Brendan Carroll's job. Simple and plain. He's the guy to go out there and put the best guys available out there to block up front. Salute to my guy, Oscar, man. Appreciate you on the $5 smack. A Rooney. Let's get this off the screen. Salute to those guys. Also, you guys, injury report. Before today's big game at SoFi Stadium against the Chargers, Max was dealing with a knee injury, was limited Wednesday, full participant Thursday, Friday. He's good to go. Tyler Lockett dealing with the ankle quad injury, full participant Wednesday, kind of had a setback Thursday, Friday. He was limited, but he's good to go. Michael Mayer dealing with that injury again, man. Ankle injury, did not participate at all week long. He is officially out. Jordan Meredith also dealing with an ankle injury. He did not play Wednesday, but he was limited Thursday, Friday. He is questionable for today's game. So that's something to keep an eye on moving forward in terms of who's going to play center, who's going to play guard for us. Trey Tucker, knee injury, was limited Wednesday, full Thursday, Friday. He is good to go. Adam Butler, the sickness bug has actually hit this team's locker room, and it kind of happens around this time of the year. Adam Butler, Darnay Holmes, and Zamir White all dealing with an illness. They are all questionable. The one guy to keep an eye on here, honestly, is Adam Butler. He's a critical piece of that defensive line. But him, Darnay Holmes, and Zamir White are questionable. That could be the reason why Greedy Vance is coming up off the practice squad, even though Darnay Holmes has not been great or even good by any means. But I'm expecting Darnay to be inactive. I'm expecting Zamir White to be inactive as always. And Greedy will probably go out there and get those reps, the majority of the reps at the nickel spot, at the corner position. So something to keep an eye on. Adam Butler sounds as though the illness bug has attacked the locker room. Chargers, Amarion Hampton. They were planning on having him prepared, ready to go today. He was limited Wednesday, limited Thursday, limited Friday. It seems as though they're not ready to just unleash their rookie out of North Carolina just yet. He is out. Trey Harris, full participant Thursday, Friday. He was dealing with a jaw. I don't know what the hell. Yeah, pause. if necessary. He must have got rocked. I have not seen it, but he's good to go. And then defensive tackle dealing with an elbow injury. It's a Tito Obania, I believe. Dealing with an elbow injury, was limited Wednesday, Thursday, was a full participant Friday. It's unspecified if he'll be ready to go today. So there we have it. Your injury report, you guys, for Sunday. Salute to Spivey again. Carr said Olsen's number one focus on every player's protection and blocking scheme. Well, we'll see where it goes today. Again, Spivey, with with Brennan Carroll still in the mix, what changes? What changes? Unless Pete Carroll goes out there and tries to potentially save his son's job and I don't know how you save his job. I know that you're dealing with some injuries, Colton Miller, Jackson, Powers, John. It's kind of difficult to win games with your two best offensive linemen out, right? But unless Pete kind of forces some changes on that O-line, I don't think anything changes today, Spivey. I don't. It's too late in the game. It's too late in the game. David, I see a lot of people were talking about, there was rumors about Aiden O'Connell going to start and so on and so forth. I haven't heard anything about that. Gino has gotten all the starting reps, I believe, at practice all week long. Nothing changes in regards to who's going to be the quarterback today. Now, maybe he's active again as the emergency third quarterback. I don't think that they're going to shy away from Kenny Pickett as the number 2 guy. I don't really believe they will. So again, I don't know why these rumors or where these rumors came from in regards to Aiden O'Connell. A lot of people were DMing me saying there's rumors of Aiden this and Aiden that. Again, he may be active as the third emergency, well, not technically active, but the third emergency quarterback, but I don't see him playing at all today. So to Ant, it was Grizzard. His F's got to be Shula. A lot of free agent pieces from that defense, and he could bring a solid OC to develop a young quarterback. Hopium. So I'm trying to read this here. I think you're saying go out and get the OC from Tampa Bay who has ties to Spytech, or it's Chris Shula, the defensive coordinator for the Rams, I believe. A lot of free agent pieces from that defense. Okay, I agree with you. He could bring a solid OC to develop a young quarterback. Okay, Hopium. So to my guy, Ant-Man. Chris Shula is my number one option to bring in as your head coach. That's my number one option. Again, I know a lot of people are freaked out about bringing in a defensive-minded head coach. I understand that because I've always wanted to bring in a young offensive-minded guy. But again, this dude has learned so much under McVay that I believe that he bring in the right guy to be able to, get that offense rolling. Salute to Rube, my dog. Olsen is a West Coast offensive guy. This is facts. A lot of running back and tight end usage. We just talked about that. QB play in a West Coast offense is all about matching your drop with your reads and timing. Gino has to be in rhythm for the O to work. Agreed, Rube. Rube always popping in with a haymaker. Salute to my dog, Rube. This is facts. He's definitely a West Coast offensive guy for sure. And you're definitely going to see this be the Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers show if the offensive line can hold up and give Gino enough time to, get the passing game rolling with Brock, and then also if they can hold up enough to get Ashton Genty rolling in the passing game. For sure, though. Definitely, Rube. Salute to my guy, Rube. Hug, let's keep it a buck. Do you really expect a different look, Raiders, today? I just don't see it, even though every fiber in my body hopes for it. I don't. I think it's too early. You just moved on from Chip. They got a week of practice, to get this thing right. I don't, and again, there's still the same personnel out there. So I don't see anything changing in regards to that. Now, if they throw out the young guys, if Grant and Caleb get some looks, then maybe we can hold on to a fiber of hopium moving forward. But again, I don't see anything changing. I don't. I think that Gino at this point is shell-shocked. I think that his time is coming to an end with the Raiders after 1 year, regardless of how much money you can save or how much dead money is on the books. I don't give a shit. I think that he's on his way out. The way he's dealing with the fans, the way that, that funny ass apology that, nobody really cared about. Nothing changes today. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. It's going to be fun, though. I'm tapped in because, again, I want to see what Ollie can do. Remember, you guys, Ollie was the quarterback's coach out there under McVay with the Rams, with Stafford, for a year or so. He's learned a ton under John Gruden in the past. So again, let's not act as though Ali hasn't been here before. But again, there's no way that he can implement his philosophy offensively, whatever that is. I know that Rube was saying the West Coast offense, which is definitely what he comes from. But again, I just don't know what that entails moving forward. And once again, you can't put out a whole entire new offense here in the middle of the season. It's just too late in the game. Give me some meaningless wins we can't draft. Salute to Mr. Lasbor, I believe, on a $2 smackaroonie. My dog. Roman, a lot of people love Ali, man. A lot of people love Ali. A lot of people believe in Ali. That's Stu's guy. That's like his brother. You know what I'm saying? From their days at the college level and all that other stuff, that's his guy. I'm not going to sit here and act as though I'm a major Greg Olsen fan. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys at all. But I think that's the only reason that I'm even covering the game today. I think I said that on the last show. The only reason that I'm actually going to call this game today, I was going to take today off and just watch the game by myself. But I just want to see what the offense looks like under Greg Olsen. That's the only reason that I'm tapped in today, just holding on to an inkling of hope that potentially they perform well under Greg Olsen, and that Chip Kelly was like the bad energy in that room. Davis says, Big Mike said the offense will be up tempo. Hopefully. I think that's the only way that you can kind of keep the defense off balance, is just going out there and going, hurry up, keep it up tempo, keep it moving. I think so, because again, that kind of protects your O-line as well a little bit, in a sense, right? Just keep the defense on their toes. I'm here for it. Roman, from what I'm hearing, and salute to Tyree Clay. Appreciate you, brother. From what I'm hearing, it's a foregone conclusion. It's done deal that Lane Kiffin is going to LSU. So I'm not one of them people. I'm a Raider fan, so I'm always going to say that Lane Kiffin is way overhyped and way overrated. But he's definitely going to LSU. They're going to pay him a shit ton of money. He'll probably end up going down there and not really changing too much. But it is what it is. If I was him, I'd stay at Ole Miss. The expectations are totally different there compared to LSU. But again, I'm not a Lane Kiffin guy at all. I seen some people saying bring him back to the round. I'm like, you guys are tweaking. There's no way in hell. Let me see. Fupa says, bro, Sanders can get the ball off before he gets sacked. What the fuck is Geno's excuse? Again, right? There's no happy medium with him. It's either he's under duress and he's getting destroyed, or he holds on to the ball too damn long and he gets in his own way. Facts. Get a few more questions in, you guys. Once again, won't be here for too much longer today, or here right now. But we will be covering the game today. Me and Hammer, the dynamic duo, doing the play-by-play. 8 minutes ago, Pete Carroll on the hot seat. Raiders head coach's job security, let me see, in question after struggles this season, according to Ian Rappaport. So there you go. I think, honestly, you guys, the best way to do this, and again, you don't have to tank because we're just a really bad football team. But honestly, I think the best way to do this is just keep him in the building. Keep him in the building. Allow him to go out there and lose a ton of ball games. You fire him, and guess what happens? You have a top 3 pick where you could potentially locate your quarterback, and that gets a lot of young, offensive coordinators or offensive-minded guys. It gets them really happy to say, you know what? Maybe I want to go to Vegas and take this job because I'll have some time to develop a young quarterback. So I hear a lot of people, man, it'd be great to beat the Chargers. It'd be great to do this. Look, y'all, I hear you. I understand that. But we have an opportunity here to do something that we have not done in a long time, potentially secure a top 3, top 2 pick, and potentially go get a Fernando Mendoza or a Ty Simpson, who looked really good last night against Auburn. We have an opportunity here to do something that we have not done in a long time. Again, remember, there was when you look at the history of the NFL, right? A lot of guys come up and they see, okay, we have a chance to locate our quarterback. Caleb Williams, top 3 draft pick, number 1. Ben Johnson goes to Chicago. He's developing him. They're a top team in the NFL now, right? Trevor Lawrence, former number 1 pick. Liam Cohen says, I'm going to Jacksonville because we have a former number 1 pick there that I think I can develop. They're a playoff team right now, right? You just look around the league. Drake May, top 3 guy. He's playing like an MVP right now in New England. Vrabel says, I want to go back to my old team. I already have the quarterback in place, a top 3 guy. So when you have a top 3 pick and you could potentially go locate your quarterback, that is intriguing to guys that are out there looking to advance their career and climb that corporate ladder, so to speak. The Chris Schulers of the world, the LaFleurs of the world, whoever it is that we're looking to potentially bring in down the line. A top 3 pick, moving on from your head coach. This is, I hate to say it, you guys, because as Raider fans, this sucks. And maybe this is just helping me sleep at night. This is kind of an exciting time to be a Raider fan because, again, we have not taken a first-round quarterback since Jamarcus Russell, right? And the most success that we've had in recent memory was going out and getting a guy named Derek Carr out of Fresno State in the second round, at the beginning of the second round. So, just keep Pete Carroll out there, allow him to kind of go through his bumps and bruises. If you fire him, cool. Patrick Graham will probably take over, which he'll be gone soon as well. He'll be out of there. I know some people are trying to save his job, which it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He's had some bad defenses. He's had some bad situations where he lost Max for extended amount of time, Christian Wilkins, Malcolm Kuntz. I get it. I understand. But again, he's gone. But I think in the perfect world, you just allow Pete Carroll to just play out, coach out this year, watch them shit the bed. Brennan Carroll, watch them shit the bed. You move on from them in January and you go locate the guy of the future. Simple and plain. Like Primo said, clean house and build your own identity. That's why if we can somehow, some way, you guys, get a top 3 pick in this year's class, and think about it, there's going to be a team or two there like Tennessee, who already has Cam Ward, that's not going to look for a quarterback. So if you secure a top 3 pick, you potentially are looking at Fernando Mendoza or Ty Simpson. If the Saints are there, we don't know what they think. They just blew a 2nd-round pick on Tyler Shuck. So is that still the future down the line? Maybe they get a defensive piece out there. Maybe they bring in an edge rusher. I don't know. But again, you have to secure a top 3 pick. Simple and plain. And if that's us dealing with Pete Carroll another 6-7 weeks or whatever the hell is left, I don't even know anymore, right? I don't know, because it's just difficult to even keep up with this football team with all the shenanigans and shit going on off the field with this coaching staff and the upper management in this regime. It's just so difficult to even focus on what we got moving forward. But again, it's an exciting time again, you guys, because once again, we have an opportunity here to potentially do something that we have not done in a long time. Now, if they have a top 3 pick and they don't get a quarterback, we're in the same fucking boat that we've been in forever. And they'll probably go out there and do something stupid like bring in a Kyler Murray or some veteran journeyman quarterback, and we'll probably be in the same predicament we were in before. But at this point, I'm willing to go out there and get a Ty Simpson or a Mendoza, regardless if they're not the guy of the future, because we need some type of excitement for the future. I know a lot of people are excited about the 2027 class. I am as well. But again, it's time to do the right thing here, you guys. It's time to do the right thing and build this thing up the right way. Free agency, go get you a couple offensive linemen, get you a few in the draft. Then you have an offseason to see if Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant are going to be pieces of the future. But again, get you a quarterback. 5 more weeks. There you go, Boost. 5 more weeks. That's it. 5 more weeks to deal with this coaching staff. You move on. We completely clean house. Graham gone. Brennan Carroll gone. Pete Carroll gone. Hopefully they get a chance to, hold on to, I don't know who the hell this is. Hold on to our tight end coach. Hold on to Rob Leonard, our defensive line coach. Maybe hold on to those guys. But again, maybe they want to just completely clean house. It is what it is. Rube, I don't think there is a real guy at quarterback in this draft. I still want to draft a quarterback, but I don't think us winning is going to keep us from a quarterback. I want to trade into the back of the first to get a QB. So who are you looking at? I don't know why you keep calling me, man. Who are you looking at then, Rube? I've been saying that I have no issue getting Drew Allar in the second round or the third if he drops because of the injury. I have no issue with that. I have none. But again, if you're there in the top three, and yeah, you can look at Reese, right? He's phenomenal. He could be the next dude at the next level. Like he could be that next guy. I mean, honestly, man, could you imagine him and Max Crosby together? That would be insanity. But it also potentially, and I know some people don't want to hear this, frees you up of moving on from Max at some point down the line, get you some extra picks because now you have that edge rusher that, or you keep Max around, right? And you have that 1-2 punch. But again, I'm not saying to move Max, but in some people's eyes, he may be a piece that you can move around now because you have a Reese. But once again, Caleb Downs, right? If you move back, you can get a perennial all-pro talent right there with Caleb Downs out of Ohio State. There's a ton of talent, Fano, offensive lineman, Utah. There's a couple other guys that we could potentially look at, but yeah. Joe, I don't know if Dante Moore is going to come out. That's the thing. That's the big question mark. Is he going to come out? He's been looking good out there at Oregon. But again, is he going to come out? We don't know yet. If he doesn't, something to keep an eye on, potentially Sellers transferring to Oregon, or maybe he goes and takes Carson Beck's spot at Miami. 300, I have no issue with Jaden. Have no issue. Like the kid at USC. Like him a lot. Watched him a ton. I think he's very talented. But I think that he is a developmental guy that's going to take some time. If you bring him in, I wouldn't be shocked. Well, you know what? If Pete Carroll's gone, Gino's gone. But they're going to bring in another veteran guy that he's going to have to sit behind and learn a little bit. That's what I think. I think there's only a few guys that could potentially be ready to go next year. The Mendozas, the Ty Simpsons of the world, potentially Dante Moore. We'll see. But I don't think that Jaden will be available, will be ready to go come week one. Allar is Josh Allen or JJ McCarthy, no in between. Okay, Larry. Hoping if we do bring him in, it's Josh Allen. And I know what you mean in terms of the measurables and the arm strength and all that good stuff. Definitely, that has always been that the comparison for Drew Allar out of Penn State was Josh Allen. So to my guy, Larry. Rube says, F my last super. I keep forgetting we have to attract a new coach. That's what I was saying. I would want a Reese and a Cole Payton duo. Ooh. But if we're getting a coach, they're coming in for a top rookie quarterback. And there you have it, right? That is the selling point, Rube. That is the selling point. The selling point is, hey, we got a top 3 pick. You have your pick of the litter at the quarterback position, right? And come in and develop them. And you have a few years to see what we have, with that guy. I have no issue with that. Again, yes, I agree with you, Rube. That is the selling point. We have a top 3 pick, and you can go pick your guy. Pick your guy. Is it Mendoza? Is it Moore if he comes out? Once again, is it Ty Simpson? To be determined. Salute to my guy, Rube. I like that kid out of Cincinnati. Kane. Salute to my brother, Kane Town. It's funny. He's actually from the city that I live in. He's from Denton, local boy. And he's balling out there in Cincinnati, man. He's cooking. 27 touchdowns this year. He has 5 picks. He has one of the best QBRs in the nation, 81.5, 100 yards passing this year. I like him. I like Brendan Sorsby, 6'3", 235, kind of that, prototypical size at the quarterback position. I would preferably have a 6'4", 6'5 type of guy. I know Ty Simpson is 6'2", so I may sound like I'm kind of going against what I usually say here, but I have no issue with Brendan Sorsby. It just depends on who's the guy to come in and develop him. I like him though, and he does have some deficiencies, but once again, at the next level, you got to have the right guy in the building to get him ready to go. But again, I like him. I enjoy watching him. A few weeks back, watching him, I think it was Cincinnati and Utah play each other. I like watching that kid play. Mikey says, I think he's going back to school. Okay. From what I've heard, all signs were that he's coming into the draft. I mean, he's a junior at this point. So, but maybe he does go back his senior year and build up his stock and become a top 5 pick down the line, which could be smart. with all the NIL stuff, he could stick around another year, bet on himself, and potentially be a top 5, top 10 pick in next year's class. Yeah, I'm out on Garrett, Jordan. I'm totally out on Garrett. I'm cool. I'm cool, brother. I'm definitely cool. And he got benched, didn't he? You know, I don't watch LSU because I can't stand him, but he was benched, right? Salute to my Dizzy with that content. Salute to my guy, Dizzy. Joe says, if you have the number 1 pick and more, Mendoza and Simpson all come out, who are you taking, Grab? That's a very good question. That is a very good question because they all have traits that I love in my quarterback, right? Fernando Mendoza, prototypical size, smart kid. You got Dante Moore at Oregon. To me, he can make every throw. He's so fun to watch. He throws tight footballs and tight windows. When I watch Oregon, I'm like, man, this kid can be something with the right coaching staff at the next level. If he can get the right OC around him or the right offensive-minded head coach around him, he can be solid. I think he has a ton of potential. And then Ty, his processing, the way he sees the field only after 10, 11 starts, it's to me masterful. So I don't know, man. I don't know if you can go wrong with any of these guys. I like these dudes. Just go get one of them. I don't really care. But for some reason, man, I think that Ty Simpson can be special at the next level. Even though I know a lot of people love Mendoza, I like Mendoza. I just don't love Mendoza, But again, and I watched some of them, some of his stuff at Cal, and maybe it's because of that. I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of down on him a little bit because of that. But look, just go get one of these guys. I don't care. Just get one of them because, again, at least we have some hope for the future going out and getting a guy young, early in the draft and develop him. That's all I want. Just go get one of those guys. I don't care who it is. Whatever this front office and whatever this next coaching staff believes in, I'm here for it. I need a young quarterback, not a Cam Miller in the 6th round, not one of those, not an Aiden O'Connell in the 4th, 5th round out of Purdue. I need a young quarterback, 1st round draft pick that you can look at and say, he is the guy of the future. Give us some hope. Give us some hope. Not going into the season with Pete Carroll as your head coach kind of hope. I'm talking about hope for the future, knowing that we have a guy potentially, if not ready yet, waiting in the wings to be the guy that can take this organization to the next level. So Roman says Simpson will be our stabler. Hey, man, the Alabama connection, right? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. John, pick a quarterback early. None of the defensive blue chips are world shakers. There's a lot of good defensive talent later in this draft. Salute to my guy, John. I think that this is a healthy defensive tackle class. I think that it's a top-heavy edge rusher class. So if you want an edge, you might have to get one in the first couple rounds. I think that this is a great linebacker class. So you could find one in the middle rounds. Like you can honestly find one potentially in that 3rd to maybe even a 5th round. I love this linebacker class. I love some of these guards, the interior O-line, guards and centers. This is a deep class. I don't think it's really a deep tackle class for me personally. But again, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Mikey says a great safety class. There's definitely some interesting names. I think it's a top-heavy cornerback group as well. I can't wait until next year. I hope the Raiders go get Leonard Moore, my guy out of Notre Dame, the best cover corner in the nation right now. I'm hoping somehow, some way that we end up with Leonard Moore next year. Go get your number 1 corner if it's not Porter. That dude is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Man, I just love watching that kid play. Maybe I'm Notre Dame biased, but Leonard Moore is a fucking stud. If you get your quarterback in this year's class, go get your corner 1 in Leonard Moore, man. This dude is going to be potentially a top 10 pick, and he can do it all, man. He can do it all. I watched that game last night against Stanford, and I've watched every single Notre Dame game this season. Watching Leonard Moore, man, he's just a phenomenal, phenomenal talent. It's been forever since we can have, one of those guys where it's like we got to see Wood. We have these big name guys like the Namdis of the world. Leonard Moore can be that for us down the line. It's been forever. We've always been known to have these great corners, these great safeties. Well, when are we going to do that again? We need one. We need to have that guy that can hold it down. I think that Leonard Moore is the guy that we can get in 2027 if we're there to pick him. And mind you, he's going to go early and he's going to go quick. This is what it is. Rube, Mendoza scares me. He does with me as well because he has the perfect situation. The O-line is great. 220 rushing yards a game. Defense is phenomenal, but he does everything right. This is facts. This is why I keep saying, Rube, that Fernando Mendoza to me is the boom or bust guy in this draft class. He's the boom or bust guy. Simple and plain. But I'm so desperate here, Rube, that if he's available, just go get him. Go get him. If that's the guy, get him. And let's just see what we can do. Again, Rube, we watched Chicago have one of the worst O-lines in football last year and fixed that in one offseason. They went out and got the center from Atlanta. They went out and got Jonah Jackson from the Rams in a trade. They went and got Thuney, however you say his damn name, from the Chiefs, right? They went and built that O-line up in one offseason. So if you can get a Mendoza, a Ty Simpson, one of those guys, you can completely rebuild that O-line in one offseason, you guys. I've seen it done before. And think about this. If you have Jackson Powers Johnson, and I said this on a million shows, if you keep him at guard, you got Colton Miller coming back at left tackle. Again, you can go out and pay Linderbaum. I think Baltimore is going to be soon to blow it up. I don't know if they're going to pay him. It looks like they may be in a transitional period here soon. Harbaugh may be on the way out. I'm hearing a lot about Baltimore's situation out there. So you pay Linderbaum, you go in and bring in the right tackle from Indianapolis in free agency. You move DJ Glaze, the right guard. We may be cooking with grease here. We may be cooking with grease here. In one offseason, you can change that O-line. Promise you. The problem with this O-line is, you guys, they just ran with the same thing they had last year, which they struggled too. They literally just ran with the same shit. What changed last year outside of, JPJ playing some center last year? What changed? Glaze played. Parham played. Colton Miller dealing with that shoulder injury. He got stronger as the season went on, and the O-line got better. But nothing changed. Yeah, they may have moved a few guys around, but that O-line was bad last year. For them to just keep that unit and then not even more, Jordan Meredith as well, Rich, was at guard and looked a lot better at guard last year for us. But again, it wasn't a great O-line anyways. If you go get two offensive linemen early in the third round and you're looking at this team on paper and you're looking at the tape from last year, you're thinking, oh, those guys are going to play. Caleb Rogers is going to play. Charles Grant is going to play. But again, the Raiders doing Raider shit, seeing a bad O-line and saying, let's just run with those guys again. And then Brennan Carroll shape-shifting and moving guys around and playing the whole JPJ shit in the – man, this fucking team, man. This fucking team, man. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Hopefully Olsen makes some changes. I mean, K-Smooth, this is the thing, right? He won't be here next year. It's going to be a whole new coaching staff. And he's fighting for a potential coaching job elsewhere, whether it's as an OC or a quarterback's coach. Ollie's always going to find footing. He'll always find somewhere to go. He's a good coach, whether it's just as a quarterback's coach or an OC. More of an OC, honestly, would be, I think if Ollie is an OC somewhere, it's under a guy that already runs his own offense, like a McVay or one of those type of guys, right? I can see Ollie, if LaFleur leaves the Rams, I can see Ollie going back to the Rams and being the OC and kind of just calling McVay's playbook. I could see that. I think that would probably be the move. If LaFleur moves from the Rams and takes an OC job elsewhere, potentially a head coaching job, I could see Ollie going back out there. He was the quarterback's coach, potentially goes out there and takes the OC job. But he's fighting for a spot. He's fighting for a spot. So hopefully he goes out there and cleans some things up, and this is a watchable game. All we want at this point, you guys, is some watchable football. That's all we're asking for. I just want to be able to watch this game and enjoy it. That's it. I don't want to sit here and be like, here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again. And I feel like going into this game, that's just gonna be what it is. Again, you can't just keep throwing perfume on shit and expecting this team to go out there and change anything. I just want to watch a watchable football game. That's it. That's all I asked for today. Simple and plain. So, and for those who've been asking about the audio podcast, my apologies, you guys. I have not uploaded any of my last lives. I will be uploading a few of them, from last week or this week, and then this one as well. So stay tuned. I know a lot of people were DMing me asking, where's the audio podcast been? I don't think I've uploaded one in like a week, but I'll definitely start uploading them again. So thank you guys for those who've been DMing me asking about Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'll definitely be uploading a few more soon. Thought Palomar was the next great safety. Yeah, Walter, I think you kind of got in your own way, my brother, with that one. I know he has the bloodline. I know he has the measurables. But again, there was a reason he was a UDFA, and it didn't help that they're playing him out of position also, Wilder. But I never thought in a million years that he was going to be the next guy. I thought that he could be a serviceable rotational piece and potentially a spot starter. And then they brought him back, gave him a new deal, and they turned him into a starter. I've never thought that he was that. I just never have. Again, it's easy to say, man, he has that bloodline. His uncle was one of the greatest safeties of all time and so on and so forth. But I was never thinking that he was going to be that guy ever. Let me see. He said audio pods are like third round linemen. We don't need them. Salute the hug. You stupid, bro. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are y'all waiting on? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're going to get out of here. Again, you guys, I appreciate you so much. I'm going to save some of this for the game today. Me and Hammer will be live here in under 2 hours. So stay tuned. We will be calling the play-by-play over here at OLV Raiders Network and over at Hammer's house. So make sure you guys pull up. As always, I appreciate you guys so much. We went over the injury report. We went over all the chaos and bullshit with Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll and the he say, she say shit and placing the blame all over the place. It is what it is. I think that we need a fresh start, you guys, in terms of the coaching staff. Move on from them. Give Brady and Spytek an offseason to cook. Get that coaching staff in place, and let's really get it lit next year. But it starts with locating your quarterback early and in the first round with the potential top 3, top 5 pick. Simple and plain. So embrace, you guys, the fact that these next 5 weeks are going to be rough to watch. You got the Texans fighting for a playoff spot. We're playing them at their place. They have the best defense in football. They're going to beat the shit out of us. Philly, which is a weird team right now. And honestly, I could see us potentially going out there and sneaking out a win, but I could be wrong. But they're still the returning champs. Their offense has been abysmal this year. You got the Chiefs. They're still fighting. The Broncos, they want to win the division. Chargers today. This is the Giants, which they're still out there fighting with J-Mo. And it looks like Jackson Dart is potentially going to be cleared here. I think he is cleared now. So let's just these next 5 weeks, you guys, bring the expectations down a little bit. I think honestly, the best thing for this team would be to win 2 games, move on from Pete Carroll, bring in a young, fresh mind in the offseason, and go get your quarterback. Look, last year it was easy to say that, right? Because we were all excited about some of these quarterbacks coming out of this class, and then you win a few games at the end of the season that made no damn sense at all, which, again, they're football players. They're not going to go out there and willingly tank. You beat the Saints, you beat the Jags, you beat the who else was it? Who else? We lost to the Falcons, I believe, right? But there was a few games that we rattled off at the end of the season. Just like John Bailey said, embrace the suck. And there you go. Shedeur just tied up the Niners. Again, a guy that I was really high on in this class, but hey, it is what it is. He's a Brown now. Watch him be the starter for the Browns for the next however many years and be that guy. So salute to hug. Salute to everybody here in the building. Love and appreciate you all. On the way out, wipe them feet. Hit that subscribe button. See you later for the game. I'm out.